Okay, cool.
All right, everybody. Welcome to our adventure info call. This call is really just about answering questions you may have about an amazing trip that Robert Evans, my dear pal, has put together here that now Chris and I are excited to be joining him in Costa Rica. And Robert is not new to this stuff. He's been in the industry a long time, first of all. So, if you want to learn from someone who knows the industry up and down, Robert is one of those guys. And one of the things that he does are these business vision trips, which are really amazing. I've never had the fortune to be on one before, but in looking at some of the past stuff, and then when Robert invited me to join in this year, I was an immediate yes. And so I'm just going to turn it over to Robert and let him describe it to you because this is his baby, and I'm excited to be a part of it, and I hope you guys will be too. Robert, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Hi, Cynthia. How are you doing?
For some reason, I can't hear you.
Hmm.
Now, it could be on my end, so let me double check that.
Can
Okay,
you,
talk
Cynthia,
again.
Cynthia, can you hear me?
Nope,
Yes,
still not hearing you.
I
Uh,
can hear you.
one more.
I
Cynthia
can
can
hear
hear me.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or can you guys hear him? Cynthia, I can see you. You just
Yeah.
give a thumbs up if you can hear Robert. You can. She can hear you. Why can I not hear you?
It's
You know what?
technology on
Sometimes when the
Sunday.
housekeeper comes, they move stuff around and they flip switches and things, and I'm like,
Oh, is
uh-oh,
that
I am
I
getting no
love that.
sound.
That's a good
Well, as long as
excuse.
everybody else can hear you, although I want to make sure that the
Yeah.
recorder is going to record you as well.
Cynthia, where are you coming in from?
Oh, now I can hear you. I don't know what
Okay.
just switched, but
Those
all
those
right.
housekeepers, man. I tell you.
That was weird. I'm clicking all kinds of buttons in my mixer and everything else, but we got you now. That's what matters.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you having me come here today to talk about this very special project. We call this project the Future Vision Business Project, and it's very unique. And I just want to give you a little bit of background on um, why I created this and why I think this is such an important opportunity for an entrepreneur to explore with this group of leaders that are going on this trip. Just a bit of a background on me. So, like Michael was saying, I'm in I guess you can say the same playground or sand pit as Michael and Krista is. That is the kind of the combination of the online marketing slash transformational space of working with authors, speakers, coaches, and entrepreneurs, and basically anybody that's interested in making a difference in the world. I've been doing this work for in this particular space for 25 years, and and right now, I have a couple companies. I have a company called Action Era, which is a software and education company that helps people leverage the power of mobile apps and online marketing as a way of reaching people. I have a new company that I've recently formed that relates a little bit to this, not a little bit, a lot, kind of. It relates a lot to what we're talking about here today. The company's called Epic Adventure Collective. Um, and um, and I'm just kind of I guess you can just say I'm um, a, a serial entrepreneur. I just really like to create businesses and launch them. Now, which really super relates to the conversation that we get to have here today because um, I was thinking about this the other day, Michael. I've owned a business or been an entrepreneur um, since I was 13 years old. So I'm kind of going on like, and now you guys are going to know how old I am here. 41 years owning businesses in some form or another. 25 years of it has been in the space of helping what I call messengers get their message out into the world. And in all those years of building businesses, um, I've learned a lot about the importance of that kind of what we often call the work-life balance in that it's very easy as entrepreneurs to get completely consumed by our businesses and kind of lose that balance of what the rest of our life is like. Now, I'm sure I'm the only one that's ever done that, right? But it's very easy as an entrepreneur. I mean, honestly, a lot of us start businesses so that we can have the freedom to kind of do whatever we want, that kind of that free. Uh, Not only to be able to create income, but to be able to say, oh, if I own a business, then if I want to take a week off or I want to go do something or whatever, then my business will give me that opportunity. And a lot of ways sometimes it does, but in most ways it really doesn't because owning a business, you're 100% responsible for making that happen and making that successful. And often that means working a lot on the business and sacrificing a lot of the things that we want to do in life. So over the years, I've kind of, and believe me, and I've been so consumed by my business that I've missed out on a lot in life as a result of that. So, kind of a long story, short. In all these years of building businesses, I have found myself kind of in that corner of one, the business being completely and totally dependent on me. In other words, if you took me out of the equation of the business would die, right? Two, um, because of that reality, that if I since it's completely dependent on me, I'm working all the time in order to be able to make that business successful, and that's where I kind of run into the out of balance of kind of life and business. So why am I sharing that with you when we're talking about this project that we're doing in Costa Rica? Because what we've created here in Costa Rica that Michael and Krista are a significant part of, it's not just a trip that you get to go on and have some good experiences and learn some things, but it's a trip that has a particular focus for entrepreneurs that could absolutely change your life and the way your business is structured and designed and run so that it gives you really what I think most entrepreneurs really, really want, and that is what we call a lifestyle-based business. In other words, a business that that revolves around your ideal life rather than your business that runs your life. And that there's a huge distinction between the two because the great majority of entrepreneurs are really just being run ragged by their business, or they're locked in to their business in ways that doesn't give them the freedom to do what they really want to do in life, especially as we start to get older and realize, hey, there's more than just this. Let's show up and that sort of thing, and try to make things work. And I think it's also even more. Michael might even be able to really super relate to this. I think anybody can really relate to this. It's even become more important for us to explore this because we spend so much time sitting in front of our computers nowadays. We spend so much time sitting in front of this program called Zoom every week, right? That we're really missing out on a lot of things that's really possible for us in life. So so as an entrepreneur, like here's a great example. I want to give you guys a great example of a business that I had that that presented or that resulted in a perfect example of what I'm talking about here. So um, the business I have right now, the main business I have is called Action Era. Before Action Era, I had a company that was called No Regrets Productions, and it was a company that put together transformational trips around the world that took transformational leaders or authors, speakers, coaches, people that had a business, that had a message, that had a positive impact on the world, to different places in the world to give them, these really powerful experiences. We went to Liberia, Africa a couple times. We went to Ecuador, Costa Rica, New Zealand, Alaska. For about 5 years, I ran and put together 10 transformational trips with about 180 people that went on those trips in that time frame. It was very life-changing in so many significant ways for myself and other people. And it was really in a, in my entire 41 years of being an entrepreneur, it was really one of the very first opportunities I had to experience a lifestyle-based business that I was thrilled to experience. Now, how I got there was the business before. That's the one I really want to talk about here because this is kind of a reality check, I think, for a lot of people. The business before I had was a company called the Messenger Network. And the Messenger Network was a very successful venture for me. Um, I had I had built a community of over 130,000 people in that business and all these people that I was able to, share with and communicate with and invite to be a part of different things over the course of the 5 or 6 years that I had that business, all over the world, just people from all over the world. And I was doing events and workshops and courses and author contests and we did speaker contests. I did an amazing amount of things in that company that created a lot of impact. It helped a lot of people figure out a way to get their message out into the world. So, and I'm emphasizing that because it was a business that was really checking a major box of one of my personal missions in life, which is to help people make a difference, in turn, me making a difference in the world. So it was a very, very significant mission-driven business for me. Uh, and I made a lot of money in that business. I think in the last couple years of the 5 years that I ran the business, I was I was generating about six or $700,000 worth of income for myself in that business. And so personally, I was making a lot of money. I didn't have a big overhead. I didn't have any of this stuff. It was just doing really well. Now, here's the thing. One day, I don't remember the details around this, but one day I started to realize, hey, I'm not really happy. Why is that? I wasn't feeling inspired anymore. I was making a difference and making money, and you think, oh, well, should do the trick. And for a while, it did. It was thrilling in that way. But I realized I wasn't really happy. And I started asking myself questions about why. Why am I not happy? And the answer came back to me, and I realized that I wasn't happy because the primary reason was that I wasn't really living all of the life that I really wanted to live. I was mainly living the business life. And part of it was because I was always sitting in front of the computer. That business was all about sitting in front of the computer, right? And it wasn't even as driven as it is today by the computer and by Zoom and by virtual events and that sort of thing. It was, so it's even more so today that I think for most people. And I'm like, why is that so important? Because I really wanted to be out in the world, experiencing the world. I wanted to travel. I wanted to make a difference in these other places. And if I had to continue to sit in front of the computer all the time in order to run this business, in order to make this money, then I don't think I'm going to last. And um, so I said, well, if sitting in front of the computer is not the thing doing this particular business, what is missing? So I decided one day, one weekend, to sit down and write out a bucket list. Have you guys ever written out a bucket list? Cynthia, have you ever written out your bucket list?
Mm.
Yeah, a few things on your list. For me, a bucket list is like, a list of the things that you would like to experience in life, everything from the places you like to travel, the adventure that you like to have, the contribution you like to make, the relationships. I mean, to me, it's like a life list. It's less of a bucket list. It's like your life list. And so I used to call it a life list a lot too. So I wrote out that life list and realized, wow, I'm so inspired by this list that I started to feel something I hadn't felt in a long time with my business. And and so I decided to start exploring what would it be like to pick something on the list and go do it. Pick something on the list and then go do it. And I started to do that. And over the course of 2 or 3 months, I started to just experience things in such profound ways that it eventually brought me to the point and a realization that I really couldn't do that business anymore because that business was so dependent on sitting in front of the computer and all these things that I really wanted to do was more of like being outside the computer and being outside in the world doing things that it was time for me to make a change. And so why is this so important to this conversation here today is because I had this business that made a difference, this business that made a significant amount of money that I knew I had to leave in order for me to really live the life that I really wanted to live. And in order for me to do that, I had to let go of the business or sell it or whatever. And I made that decision. I made that leap. And I went from this $700,000 a year business to selling the only thing that had value in the business, which was the list, and I sold that for $25,000. So I went from six or $700,000 to $25,000. Why? Because my business was entirely dependent on me, the individual. And once I decided that I couldn't do that business anymore, it lost all its value. Once I extracted myself out from the business wasn't worth anything anymore. And that's a profound realization for me in building a business and realizing that most entrepreneurs don't build a business that it is its own independent, scalable, sellable asset because of the way it's structured. Okay, so in other words, a lifestyle business is not just a business in which you get to do things that fit your lifestyle, but it is a business that can have a life of its own, whether you're involved in it or not. That there's a way approach and a plan and a structure and a strategy around how you create a business that makes it its own life, its own entity, so that at some point, maybe it's some point in your business along the way, you say, you know what, I need to take a week off, or I'm gonna go, take my family to, this trip here for a couple weeks, where that you can literally do that in your business and be the way your business is created, set up, and structured and planned. It won't be impacted by your absence. Your business continues to run. That's what a true lifestyle business is. One that gives you the freedom to do what you want to do in life and gives your business a life of its own so that you can have that life that you want. And at some point down the road, if you get less inspired by it, or if you want to retire, or if you want to do whatever, you can do that, and your business will continue to take care of you, or you can sell it so that it takes care of you in a big way. So, all right. So all this leads up to this trip in Costa Rica. This trip in Costa Rica is called the Future Vision Business Project. And what do I mean by future vision is that I believe that most entrepreneurs, in their current way that they run their business, keeps them locked into that business and keeps them stuck there. And that if you want to, uh, if you want that kind of freedom in your life to be able to go do whatever you want to do or extract yourself from the business so that it continues to go, you have to start creating a vision, a future vision of that business that you can move into and eventually merge into, and then have that lifestyle business that you're seeking. So, after 8 years of doing this online, marketing mobile app business, which I still run today, but it's structured in a way to where I'm no longer completely dependent, or the business is not dependent on me. I decided I really wanted to get back to doing these transformational trips because it was one of the most powerful 5 years of my life. And I just saw people go through massive transformations when they went on these trips. And so I said, okay, who is the dream team of people that I'd like to have go on this trip and lead people through the experience of creating this future vision? Who are the people that I know that live a lot of the aspects of a lifestyle business? And that's when, of course, I said, oh, of course, Michael and Krista. I mean, look at these two. They get to travel all over the world. They get to do the podcast cruise. They get to, I mean, they're always a hell yes when it comes to stuff. This is what and they're a hell yes, not just because they're just that type of personalities, because they have that kind of business that gives them the opportunity to be a hell yes. And so I said, so I invited Michael and Krista to be leaders on this trip in Costa Rica. And and then four other leaders that I think have extraordinary pieces of the puzzle that will help entrepreneurs create this vision for their business and start living the lifestyle business rather than that other thing that they're experiencing. So the other leaders are Iman Guy, who is my business partner in the app business, but he is also one of the most respected, most credible leaders in our industry in helping people create passive income streams and elements of their business that gives a piece of that lifestyle business. One of the things that Iman is known for Iman is known for is he has a teaching called the 17-week lifestyle business teaching, where you go through these 17-week cycles in your business that ultimately gives you 3 weeks off after each 17 weeks. So imagine that running your business, making money, and having impact, but it's structured in a way where you get 3 weeks off every 17-week cycle. So, and something which I really love and respect about Iman is he's done that a lot over the years. Then Danella Burnett. Danella Burnett is one of the leading experts on helping experts use the stage to reach people and to maximize your impact and your sales in a lot less time by using the stage. So we invited Danella to be one of the leaders. We have Jay Fairbrother, who is uh, known as the mastermind guy, who is helps people create masterminds. But one of the things that's unique about Jay in his teaching is that he says, would you rather have a client that signs up for something that they're there for only 3 months in a program with you? Or would you rather have a client that is going to be there for 3 years with you? So he's able to actually help you create a structure of a high-end program in which your clients will stay with you year after year after year, which again helps solidify some of the structure of that type of business that you would like for yourself. And then we have Julia Mick, who's going to be on this trip with us. Julie is one of the most brilliant mindset coaches and really helping you just really align your mindset, because we could put the structure in place, we could do this and we could do that, the marketing and all the get clarity on how you make money, in your business. But if your mind is not aligned, if your mindset's not aligned with that, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So I feel like Michael and Krista and these other four leaders are like the dream team of people of knowledge that can help a business really structure that future vision for their lifestyle business. So I said, guys, let's do this. Let's go to Costa Rica and invite your community to be a part of this. And for a week, we'll be in Costa Rica going through a very structured, powerful experience, um, teaching people how to create a lifestyle business. And there are 6 elements of a lifestyle business. I'd just like to rattle off here real quick if you guys don't mind. There are six. One is, first element is we need a real clarity of the vision that you have for your life so your business can support that clarity. Which, yeah, right, we're going to write a vision statement that is going to inspire you of what the life that you would like to live. And this is not a vision statement for your business. Just to be really super clear right now, we're not going to Costa Rica to learn how to market or do online marketing or put ourselves in front of the computer more. It's not about that at all. What Costa Rica is about the vision of your life that you want to live, and so that very first element is that we got to get really clear on what your vision looks like for your life, because then we're going to take either your a new business or your existing business, and we're going to start to mold it around that so that your business supports that vision, because that's ultimately what life is all about. It's not about how much more time do we, how many more sales do we get or anything like that. It's about the life list that we want to create. So that very first is having a clarity of vision. Second is having an abundance mindset. And that's where like Julia comes in. That's where all of these leaders come in, because they all have that mindset that makes them all very successful, all very, very successful seven-figure business owners who've, not only, run a business, but run multiple business and actually live very, very rich lives. The third element that we're going to really discuss is in order for us to have a lifestyle business, we need to have what's called scalable income streams. And that means that if you currently right now have a business in which you're exchanging your time for the money that's coming in, we got to shift you out of that. We got to put you into we got to put you into two different categories. And that is what's called leverage income or passive income. And that's absolutely, these leaders are experts in that in so many different ways on how to create income streams that doesn't require you constantly putting your time in order for that to happen. So we're going to look at and put into your vision plan what are going to be your scalable income streams? What are you going to put in place, and what are those things going to look like, and how are they going to build up over the years to give you the freedom that you want? The fourth thing, this is an area that Michael and Krista are really amazing experts in, is that we're going to talk about how important it is for you to grow a community, but you're growing a community that is really what's ultimately feeding your business success. That you're creating things in your business that makes your community raving fans of you, to where they're out there sharing your business with everybody that they know, so that your community grows and your business grows and your scalable income continues to scale with or without you. Okay. The fourth element is, and nowadays this is even more possible, is learning how to delegate so that you're not always having to do the work, right? And how to automate so that you're not having to build a huge staff, but you can use the power of technology. You can use the power of AI that exists today to run your business on automated mode. Just so that you put the structure in place. You're the visionary of your business. You're the visionary and the person behind the message of your business, and then you put those elements in place so that they continue to work for you over and over and over and over again, even while you're sleeping, and even while you're off somewhere doing something on your life list, for example. And then the last part is, and which is really what this trip really provides in a significant way, is accountability and mentorship. So you are going to be the only one that's going to be responsible for building the business that you're going to build and the scalable scalable and sellable way that you ideally want your business to be, so that at the time that you decide, I'm ready to move on, you can hand it off to someone else and you can be completely taken care of. Or you can sell it and you can have significant, resources in your life to continue to live the life that you want. And that there's a lot of accountability in following through and making sure that this happens. And the mentorship is these leaders that are on this trip. I mean, when I think about these six extraordinary people that are leading these teams, to be able to spend a week with them in paradise, really. I mean, Costa Rica is absolute paradise. If you've never been there, then it's an amazing treat. But to spend a week with these leaders in which it would cost you with each one of them about 10 to 25 to even $50,000 to have this level of access to them. But you're going to have this access to them. You're going to be sitting in hot springs with these leaders. I mean, Michael, I mean, how many business ideas do you think we're going to come up with sitting in the hot springs? Right? I mean that's where magic really happens. So we'll be sitting in hot springs, but you're going to have access to these leaders in an parallel way that you wouldn't normally have because we're usually having we will spend 3 days with Michael and Krista on a Zoom meeting, or we'll go on the podcasters cruise or something like that with Michael and Neely, and that's a great opportunity to access them. But they're also going to be very busy running that trip and along with everything else. Whereas in Costa Rica, we get to actually spend time with these six leaders to really get some work done. So,
Yeah.
so that mentorship is going to be crucial and transformational for us on this trip. So those are the six elements that we're going to focus on in creating the future vision of your business. Clarity of your vision, and forming and understanding and the elements of an abundance mindset, scalable income streams. So you're heading in the direction where you remove yourself from the time for money category into the leveraged and passive income stream models of a business. Growing your community, delegation and automation, and accountability and mentorship. And accountability is super important here. I just really want to just talk about that. Just 1 second here. One of the things that I see in our industry nowadays, especially nowadays with it being so screen driven, meaning Zoom driven, we'll just call it Zoom driven, is the people hopping from one virtual event to the other, to the other, to the other. I mean, I've actually seen some people, like a lot of people, be on a Zoom 3 day event every week, every weekend of the month. I don't know how they do it, but and that's fine because they're learning, but at a certain point, there's no magic bullet that's going to happen in those 3 days. The success comes from taking what you have learned in the 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 other trainings and events that you're doing and actually putting it into action, actually being accountable to you being the one that's the only one that's going to be able to make it happen. So we're going to, with this trip, get you so clear and so fired up um, on what you need to do when you leave this trip to really get this going that you're going to feel unstoppable when you get back. You're going to feel like you have the tools and the things that are necessary for you to create this dream business that you have for yourself. So, so while we're in Costa Rica, we're going to be going through this entire process. It is going to be, and then to be really clear, we're not going there to have a vacation, but it will feel like a vacation.
Yeah.
We are going to go there to work, and we're going to get stuff done, and we're going to walk away with something significant.
Yeah.
So my trips, Michael, did you want to say something?
Oh, I just want to add, and I wrote it in the chat there as well, a piece that I think that is key to this that Robert hasn't added, and maybe you're going to want to add this to your list, and that is Chris and I are firm believers in embodiment. That in order to take on a new version of you in life, to up level your game, you need to be able to embody that lifestyle. And that's one of the really great benefits of doing a trip like this is you will embody that freedom lifestyle, that success factor of hanging out with other super intelligent people in the business space, but having fun and doing it in a free, relaxed way that gets it into your system somatically so that now it becomes more natural for you. So I just wanted to toss that out there while you're on those elements there, Robert.
And I just added in my list because that
Okay.
is such a good that you're 100% right. Yeah. And that's true. I mean, anybody that has ever created something like this, the embodiment is the absolute go, this is how it is. This is
Yeah.
the like this I'm not diverging from this. This is how it is. It's where I'm moving to now. So I love
Yeah.
that.
And I often use the analogy of riding a bike. So it's easy for us to intellectually understand something like balance, and someone could explain to you when you ride a bike, if it's tipping one way, you shift your body the other way. And if you want to steer, you can teach somebody that intellectually. But
Yeah.
until they've ridden a bike and start to get the feel of it in the body, it isn't the same. You still don't know how to ride a bike. And that's what's great about being able to go and experience this is you're learning to ride the bike of the freedom lifestyle. So I also love that. Looks like Krista's joining us too.
Hey, Krista. Well, I mean, that just goes to show one of the reasons why, Michael and Krista being on this trip is going to be so thrilling is because they embody their business and they teach it so well. So thank you, Michael,
Thank
for
you.
that.
Yeah,
Sure. Hey, Krista.
absolutely.
So yeah, so okay, the trip. The trip is May 16th through the 24th, and I'm just gonna share my screen here because I want to just kind of talk about some of the things that happens on this trip. So it's May 16th through the 24th, and if you want to, I can put this into the chat here, a link. Where's my?
You can go ahead. I'll grab the link.
Oh, thank you, bud.
Mhm.
Um, Don't you love it when the Zoom things just go all over the place? I want to talk about the elements of the trip. First off, is that we do this. Each one of these experts, while we're on the trip, we're going to have each one of them are going to be running a workshop that has a piece of that lifestyle business puzzle that is so important for us to understand. So during this 7 days that we're in Costa Rica, we have these workshops that will be delivered by these leaders that will each of them be bringing in a piece of that puzzle. Um, whenever I did these trips in my previous business, we always had an element of contribution to the trip. So while we're in Costa Rica, we'll be doing a service project of some sort in the community in Costa Rica, giving back to the community and acknowledging them, and just like really embodying why do we have these businesses in the first place? It's really, yes, there's that part for ourselves, but it's also to make a difference. And when we actually come together and do something together to show the power of that collective collaboration in some way or another, and we do a very powerful contribution in that collaboration mode with everybody that's there, then it really shows the power that we have, and it just it's a way of giving back. So we'll have a contribution day. We also have adventure. I mean, again, we're going here. We're not going to go from the screen to a conference room for 7 days. No, no, no. We actually, while we're there, we're going to be having some adventure. We're going to be going through a connection process. I call it the Connect Day. And the connection process is a process that I created called nature minding, and in which we are going to be going out in the nature and the beauty of Costa Rica and going through a very powerful process of really just learning of clarity around our vision, but being fed by the surrounding energy of nature. I'm a big believer in energy and how energy feeds us or doesn't. That's one of the challenges I think that we face with sitting in front of the computers is there's a different energy sitting in front of a computer and a camera and this screen and all this energy that's happening around us that's not always conducive to the kind of energy that we need to really grow and be inspired and that sort of thing. So when we're in nature and we present ourselves with questions in this very powerful space, clarity and motivation and what Michael was saying, a real embodiment. It's like we're being fed this energy in this space and this clarity of this vision that we have for our lives that when we walk away from this trip, that energy is still so present within us that we feel unstoppable when we come home. And that feeling is going to be priceless for us. So we do this really powerful process called Connect. We have a teamwork day. So you would all be a part of Michael and Krista's team, and that we have four other teams other than theirs. That will be doing this really powerful team day where you'll work with Michael and Krista on team to, in a friendly way, compete against the other teams and do an activity together. And then we have a day called Rejuvenate, and I love Rejuvenate. You know why? Because we get to get off the computer, put away our phones. In fact, we ask everybody to leave their phones in their room, to call their family the night before and say, I'm not going to be available all day tomorrow, and to literally unplug. And then we're going to take you to one of the places we're going to take you to is this place in Costa Rica called Tabacon Hot Springs. It's this resort where it's just this resort in the jungle of just hot springs and restaurants and just a place to chill. And we literally unplug. We're not doing any work. We unplug, relax, commune in this community and connect with each other in a really powerful way. So that's very, very powerful day for us in a lot of ways because a lot of us don't unplug. And we have fireside wisdom circles where we have these other five amazing leaders that are going to be talking at in the evening time before going to bed and feeding you with inspiration and ideas. So when you go to bed, you're going to bed with these thoughts of the life that you really want to live. And then we have a day in which we help you integrate because it's one thing go here and do this and for 7 days we get really inspired and we get really excited about life, but how do we bring that back into real life? And that day of integration is really important because we're going to give you some tools and resources and ideas and strategies so when you come home you can hold that energy that you are have created in Costa Rica and and take that plan, that future vision plan, and start to implement it so you don't lose any momentum and go back to the way it was before, but you actually move everything forward immediately once you get back. So that integration day is really, really powerful. So the whole idea of this trip is that you go on this trip, you work with these mentors and these leaders to create a plan for you to either build or shift your existing business into a lifestyle-based business so you can create and live the life that you want where your business supports that and you get out of any kind of rut that you might be in now, which is where your life revolves around your business because you're doing the things that most entrepreneurs do. That makes that happen. Okay. Um, that's one thing. That's the thing, right? But there's a little bit more here. One of the things that's going to be happening on this trip that is going to be really powerful for your business and for your message reaching a lot of people is that I used to own a film production company. It was called No Regrets Productions. And so I'm very, familiar with and comfortable in the world of creating film projects. So while we're on this trip, I'm bringing a film crew that's going to be filming the entire experience. And we're going to be interviewing each person that's on this trip about who they are, what their business is, who do they serve, what's the life they really want to lead, and how will their business help them with that, and how will they be able to reach more people while they're also living their dream life too, and really just kind of capturing the journey that you're going on with this group during these 7 days and creating that vision, that lifestyle business vision for your business. And from that footage, there are three things that's going to come out of it. Number one, we're going to create a really powerful sizzle reel for you as an individual so that you could share it with your community and you could have a reminder of what you did while you were there. So if you ever need a moment of inspiration, you literally just pull up your phone or pull out your computer, hit play on that video, and remind yourself of what you have set off to do. And it'll be very powerful. So you'll get that very powerful sizzle reel of your experience. We then will create a sizzle reel of the team experience so that you can remember what it's like to collaborate in community with your team and with the rest of the group. And then we're gonna actually produce a documentary. So if you're on this trip, you're going to be a part of a documentary, and the documentary is called The Unhustle Revolution. You know what's going to happen while you're on this trip is that you're going to unhustle yourself. And what does that mean? It means that you're going to get this whole concept of you got to hustle, hustle, hustle is all old bullshit that doesn't work anymore, right? That's that's what burns people out. That's what separates them from their family and friends and their passions and their desires outside of their business. The hustle doesn't work. And so what this documentary is all about is go following the journey of these entrepreneurs in Costa Rica and even after Costa Rica, um, unhustle themselves from their business running their life, and what are the elements and what are the pieces of that process of unhustling. So we're and why is that a good thing for you? I mean, some people go, oh God, do I have to be in a documentary? I don't know if I want to do that. Or some people are like, hell yeah, I've always wanted to be in a documentary. um the documentary is a great way to put a spotlight on you and your message and your business, and the way that you're going to go about doing it. So we've been invited with this documentary to submit it to a international film festival. We have a contact within a large film festival. We will It'll be a documentary that will be submitted to streaming services, that sort of thing. So the potential for thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people watching this documentary and learning about your business and having access to you and your business because of the documentary is really high. And what do I mean by access is because the documentary also comes with a mobile app. The mobile app is called, and it'll actually be an app that will be coming out here pretty soon, even way before even the trip happens. The mobile app is called Unhustle. Again, the whole idea of getting yourself unplugged from that. And inside of the Unhustle app, you'll be featured in there. You will actually literally have your own app account inside of the Hustle app, so that when people watch the documentary is going to say, make sure you download the companion app with this. They'll be able to download that app, find you on there, especially if they're inspired by you in the documentary, and then engage with your message, and connect with you in really powerful ways. So whether or not that was been the intention of the trip or not, part of the value of the trip is the opportunity to get exposure and to be put in front of a lot of people because of the documentary and the app. So, and then the last piece is that we'll go on this trip, we'll have this amazing experience, and the last thing in the world that we'll want to do is have you go home, pat you on the back, and say good luck. We're not going to do that. After the trip is over with, we will have a minimum of 60-day, and most likely, just because I've seen this happen before, an ongoing mastermind connection with everybody that's on the trip, so that we help you continue to put in place your vision plan for your business so that you ultimately can create this. Now, while you're on this trip, you're going to have the strategies, the plan, the steps, the things that you need to do in your business to turn your business into a lifestyle business. And when you get home, it'll be your responsibility, again, that accountability, to take that embodiment of what you've created and the clarity that you've had here and implement it. And we'll support you with that, but ultimately you'll be responsible for that. And so part of that is holding your hand and helping you through when it gets tough, is just helping you figure that out. So post trip, we're actually going to do an ongoing mastermind that will help you actually stay the course. So that is what the Future Vision business project is all about. That's how Michael and Krista are involved in it. And I'd really love it if anybody had any questions. Cynthia or Michelle, if you had any questions, I'd love to answer your questions for you.
And I'm also going to add in a little bit while we're waiting to see if a hand comes up on that. Krista had to run. We have friends visiting from out of town. So um, the thing I want to say is this, in addition, is as Robert's mentioned it, but I want to drive it home. This is a very small group. You are going to be, I mean, like the value, like I remember Iman when I first met Iman, gosh, before I met Robert, before I met Krista. I mean, I met Iman a long time ago, and we were just at an event together and just having lunch, sitting down to lunch with him. The amount of information and what he shared with me over lunch was life altering for my business. Okay. So now imagine that was just lunch. Now imagine you've got a week with all of these people. Like I know at the time, I know what I charge for one day with me. A VIP day with me is $10,000. I think with Iman, it's probably even more than that. He might be doing 25K for a day with him. But now you're getting more than Iman. You're getting all of these different experts. Iman, Julia, Jay, Robert, me and Krista, all of that combined for what is essentially basically about the cost of one VIP day with any one of us, and you're getting everybody for a whole freaking week. So that experience alone, I think, is just incredible. I want to really drive that home that this is a small group setting and it's going to be very intimate. There's only a few people showing up even today to listen more to this. We're being very selective about who we bring with us. And so we want to be sure that it is a great group. And Michelle and Cynthia would love to have you guys join us. Michelle, I see you have an issue with passport, but I don't think there's a visa required for Costa Rica. I've been there like several times and have not ever had to do anything as far as a visa goes. And I'm assuming your passport is U.S. passport. If it's from a different country, I have no idea. But from U.S., no visa required. And you can. I know when my son and I we took them to Europe last year, and we had to do a quick turnaround on his passport, and it took 3 weeks, and he had it. So if you are interested, I would suggest, get an action on your passport. You'll have it in plenty of time, and you don't have to worry about the visa piece. The other question you had is, will it be offered continuously? I'll turn that one over to Robert. I know this one for us is
Yeah.
it's a unique one-off experience, I think.
Yeah, everything that I just described here is just this one trip. The documentary, the trip with Michael and Krista and the rest of these leaders is just that. So it's not something that we were repeating in the same way. I mean, there will be other trips in, other ways, but it's just not the same as what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and the other thing, Michael, is that I'll just straight up, I'll just tell everybody what the cost is. On the website, if you go to the website, it shows there's a cost of basically, if you sign up, it's 9,995. But I asked with Michael and Neely, Michael and Krista, sorry, Michael and Neely.
Michael and Neely.
Yeah. Michael and that other Neely guy, Michael and Krista, I said that I would discount it an additional $1,000. So if anybody's interested here through this invitation, whether you're here now with, like Cynthia and Michelle, or you're watching this video, then you can reach out to me directly through the website and it will knock off $1,000 off that price. Now, it covers everything once you arrive there. So the only cost that you have is a flight ticket to Costa Rica. All the food, all the travel, all the activities, all the adventures, all the work and that we do, the documentary involvement, the video content that you're going to get, the post event and pre-event support that you get is all included in that price. And it's definitely I know right now people are spending $10,000, $15,000 for these, online masterminds that this 7 days will definitely almost and likely exceed and get you on the path of your business success a lot faster. So
Yeah.
it's a really, really good. We didn't want to price it out for people. That's just enough for us to make this happen.
Yeah, no, and it's extremely comprehensive, everything that's included in it. And I do just want for clarity, because it says all travel provided during trip, except for the flight to Costa Rica. Is that including shuttle from the airport to the location?
Yeah, Yep.
Great. So there you have it.
All you
So
have to do is arrive in San Jose, Costa Rica, which is the capital city. We will then take care of it from there. The area of Costa Rica that we're going to be spending our time in is called the Arenal or La Fortuna area, which is up at the near the volcano. We'll be staying at this extraordinary resort called the Arenal Manoa, which is a hot springs resort. So they literally have hot springs right there that you can wake up in the morning and go, you know what, before we start, I think I'll go to hot springs, right? That's
I
what
was
I'm gonna.
checking out the hotel listing yesterday. I'm like, oh my God, this place looks freaking amazing.
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah,
excited. I can't wait to get there.
yeah. So, Cynthia, did you have any questions?
No.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Michelle,
Michelle?
any questions? I will toss this out while Michelle, if you think of a question and want to unmute yourself or post it into the chat, but I will also toss this out that this is one of those things while we still have these openings, you could also reach out to a friend and say, hey, do you want to go do this trip with me? Okay, so make it a little bit of a group thing, even if you know someone, because there is still the space. I think we have room for four or five in our segment right now. So if it's of interest and you want to bring somebody, please let them know. Or maybe if even if you can't make it, but you know of someone who you think this would be a fit for, let them know. And we're going to make this replay available. So you will get an email with the link to the replay. We're going to post it into our YouTube channel. We're also live with this on Facebook at the moment, and we'll put a link in there too. And so, yes, feel free to share this because these spots are going to fill up. I know gosh, we're a little over 2 months away. What is today?
Yeah, 2 months a week.
Barely over 2 months. Yeah, 2 months and a week away. So it's getting close, but there's still time for people to make the travel arrangements and make it happen. So please feel free to share this as well. But would love to have you guys with us. And if there are no other questions, Robert, is there anything you want to wrap up with?
No, no, I mean, I just for me, this is very exciting. I think when it comes to the last thing I'll just say about this is that when it comes to quote unquote a lifestyle business, there are different types of lifestyle businesses that you can create. It doesn't mean that you're not going to work anymore. It just means
Right.
that the work that you do doesn't sacrifice the life that you want to live. The work that you do actually enhances the life that you're going to live, right? I created that trip business a long time ago when I ran those 5 trips all over the world because I wanted to travel around the world. I applied a spiritual principle that's called being the source. And being the source, and this could be something it will be something we'll talk about on this trip. Be the source means be the source to others that which you would like to experience for yourself. So I created a whole business around traveling around the world and doing humanitarian work and connecting with other extraordinary, transformational leaders. I created a business around that because I wanted that, right? And so one of the best ways to do that was to create a business around that. So
Yeah.
the last thing I would say is think about what you really want in life and let's create a business that really, really supports that. And that's what this Costa Rica trip experience and project is all about.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So super exciting, and we did this right at about 1 hour.
Good
So
job.
good job. Yeah. And so again, we will make this replay available. Look for the email, and we'll also put it out tomorrow. But again, if you know somebody, if you want to do an introduction to us virtually, by the way, any of the emails that you guys get from me, Michelle, Cynthia, when you reply to those come right to my inbox. It's not like, I do have an executive assistant who also looks at them, but I get all those emails. So if you have any questions, feel free to reply. If you want to make an introduction, feel free to introduce somebody else that you think would be great in this trip with us. But it is selective and it's going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm excited about it. So I hope you guys are as well. Robert, thank you for putting it together and thanks for coming on to give a better explainer of it today so that, my people can see if this is something that works for them and want
Yeah,
to
my
come play with
pleasure.
us.
Really looking forward to it, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
Hope to
All
get to
right,
hang out with
everybody.
you all.
Have a great weekend. Ciao, everybody.
Right.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.